and blue sunset at Mile High here in Broncos Country. Let's get ready to ride. Russ and the rest are gonna light up the sky. We'll break it down after the game with the guys. Hometown heroes with their own sports bar. The best coverage in Denver, don't go too far. Just turn on DNVR. We are DNVR.
It's a winner's lounge. First place lounge. Only team in the AFC West to win lounge. Good vibes lounge.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
The 2-1 Denver Broncos.
Fellas, I have to start here. We're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Let's go,
Hey,
baby.
nice. All right, knock that out.
Fellas,
Now you're 2-1, right?
I am. And the Broncos had to be up by 1 tonight or win for you to get your promo on DraftKings Sportsbook, and they did it.
That was dicey, but they did it.
So
That was terrifying.
They waited for the final 4 minutes of the game.
That's the Russ experience. We're going to talk a lot about the Russ experience here in a second.
Yes.
And so, yeah, check out DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code DNVR. When you sign up, I have to start here. We said it all the way back to maybe even last Sunday. We said next week is just one of those games. There's no style points or anything like this or that. If you beat the San Francisco 49ers, nothing else matters.
They put that to the test.
I was about to say, do you feel that way now?
It's great they got the win, and this inept Broncos offense came alive when they had to. But
Russ experience.
there's two ways to look at it. The inept Broncos offense was very inept tonight, except right when you needed it, barely. But the defense, guys, the Broncos are only scoring 14 points a game 3 weeks into the season. You should be 0-3 when that happens. They are 2-1 because of this incredible Broncos defense. In fact, the Broncos lose tonight if it wasn't for a safety forced by the defense. Little Dan Orlovsky from Jimmy Garoppolo gets
Should've been a
them
pick
from
six.
9 points to 11 points.
Yeah, he got bailed out on a pick six by his own stupid feet.
Yeah, he seriously did.
So I was obviously at the game with Henry's dad. I was so responsible. 1 drink per hour.
Wow.
That's all I did.
No
I actually
roadie
wasn't
either.
sure what RK we were going to see tonight.
Yep. I was like so, I don't know. There was a commenter on Reddit who said like, we're too drunk to do post-game shows. They didn't even know that we did post-game shows. And
Wait, what?
okay,
How
so
did
they
someone
said
know we were too drunk to do
they
post-game
said
shows?
here was the comment. I shouldn't even be giving them any credence, but they got in my head.
Clearly.
They said, how come DNVR Broncos is the only team at DNVR that doesn't do post-game shows? Are they too drunk? And then they said, who am I kidding? Of course they're too drunk. And I was like, we've done a post. I commented. I couldn't help myself. I was like, we've done a post-game show every game since 2019. So
I have had 0 drinks today.
yeah, Zach's literally never even been tipsy on a post-game show.
I did have one shot. There was a very persuasive group who got me from Austin, from all over the place. It was a good shot, tequila.
Yeah, so anyways, they really got in my head, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to be drunk on the postgame show. So I have a Victory Seltzer.
There
This
we
is
go.
probably like my 6th drink since 1 p.m.
Impressive.
Yeah. I was pretty dialed. Anyways, there was a Niner fan in front of me after that play who said, hey, it's still the preseason for Jimmy G.
Oh, my
And I was
gosh.
like, how many more games until he knows there's 10 yards in the end zone?
That was tough. That was really tough. But it saved the 49ers a couple points.
It did. It saved them points and honestly saved the game for the Broncos, as did Corliss Waitman, putting him in that situation in the first place.
Punted for almost 500 yards.
476 yards.
That is insane.
It was such a great game.
I can't even fathom that, honestly. Like, 476 yards of punts. How many yards of offense was there?
Not that many.
260.
He almost doubled
them
it.
up. Yep.
Almost doubled it.
Actually, I think for the whole game, Corliss almost had as many punting yards as the entire game had.
Yeah.
Outside of that one missed field goal, that was the exact game that Dwayne Stukes went to bed dreaming about last night. Everything went the way he wanted.
It was great. It was great.
It was, I mean, Dwayne Tukes said it was sickening.
Yep.
What's the opposite of sickening? enlightening.
Yeah, seriously.
That's this was a breakout game for Corliss Waitman. We'll talk about him a little bit later. But this was a dub. And any way you slice it, this is a team, almost a carbon copy of a team that was in the NFC Championship game last year. They have a relentless pass rush. They have probably the best linebacker combo in the league, if not close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw every bit of that tonight. Those guys can ball. Mm-hmm. And you beat them.
Yeah. I mean, looking right now, the Broncos are the number 2 scoring defense in the NFL. San Francisco is the number 3 scoring defense in the NFL. They both kind of helped each other out tonight by not scoring many points. But, yeah, sure, the offense looked terrible, but it was against a really good defense, and you beat them.
Your biggest takeaway, Zach?
The defense is damn good. Now, still haven't played.
Damn good might be understating it.
Yep.
Damn good's pretty good. Like, the defense is elite.
Elite. There it is. That's the word I was looking for.
I think damn good and elite are right there with each other, but the defense is fantastic. Pat Surtain did not allow a single reception today. Not a single one. In the first quarter, he had 2 massive PBUs. Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb were getting after Jimmy G. Randy Gregory had essentially the game-winning sack. When he got that sack on Jimmy G and it put him down to the 3-yard line and the clock's ticking, the Broncos you felt good.
Yep.
That's when you were like, okay, whew, big sigh of relief. The Broncos are going to win this game. Then PJ Locke comes up with the game-winning forced fumble.
Best play by a player named Locke for the Denver Broncos in a long time.
He locked the win down for him. This defense just continues to play lights out. Again, you score 14 points on offense in the first 3 games. That's what you average. You should be 0-3. The defense has kept them in the game and made them 2-1.
And building off of Surtain, you said he didn't give up a catch. In the first half, targeted 5 times. No catches. That was the most targets for any defender in the NFL this season without giving up a catch in a game. And that was just in the first half. I'd imagine he got targeted again.
He got targeted once in the second half. Jimmy G was smart and said, I'm just going to avoid this guy now.
Yeah.
Good halftime adjustment by Kyle Shanahan.
Is that your biggest takeaway, Hank?
Well, I think it has to be the defense. You're that or Corliss Waitman, and I can't just go with the punter here. The defense was just insane. Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb, they're doing everything you could have hoped for. Now, the big concern was that they would potentially get injured, not stay healthy, whatever. That part still hasn't been proven. But they're getting into the backfield. They're being disruptive. They're making big plays at big times. On top of that, defensive line is helping. The secondary looks great. Even without Justin Simmons, that defense might be the best defense in the NFL.
Yep.
Who's got more points per game allowed? Or fewer points per game allowed?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that would be the incumbent best defense in the NFL. Just so fast, so big, so strong. They have everything.
Yeah.
Same record.
Record.
My biggest takeaway is different. And I tweeted this out, and some people who don't get it are having a hard time getting it, I guess. And I said, I try to tell you guys, the Russell Wilson experience is a lot closer to John Elway than Peyton Manning. Mm-hmm. And I have so many people in my mentions being like, that's nothing like John Elway. You probably never saw John Elway. And I'm like, you're missing out on the point here. And it's not John Elway his whole career, but it's essentially the John Elway, Dan Reeves experience, which was when you need it, you're going to get it.
Yep.
And when you don't need it, you're not going to get it. And it is frustrating to watch. But I looked up Russ being 16-4, now 17-4 against the San Francisco 49ers, and I checked this. He actually owns every share of the team. It's pretty crazy. Not even like majority owner, entirety owner.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I looked at his stats, and I was like ready to be blown away. His stats against the 49ers during a 20-game run in which he's 16-4. They were nothing.
A lot like tonight.
Yes.
Yeah,
in
the last 4 games before tonight, he averaged 205 passing yards against 49ers and was 4-0.
Exactly. And it's crazy to look at those numbers. And I was sitting, there was actually a decent amount of 49ers fans in that stadium tonight.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And I was sitting by some guys, and when Russ made that scramble and threw it to Kendall Hinton, they were just like, this happens every time. We've seen this a million times. We know what's going to happen. They're going to go down and score, and they're going to score a touchdown. We're not going to be able to come back. And they foresaw it because it's exactly what happens when Russell Wilson plays the 49ers. And the 49ers defense has been elite for many years now, and This is what Russ does. So I'm not saying Russell Wilson is John Elway. What I'm saying is the experience is a lot more similar to it than Peyton Manning just picking you apart, scoring 40 points. That's not what Russ is.
Huge issue, though, with that, and we saw it tonight. Russell Wilson cannot be John Elway with Dan Reeves. That's why he just left Seattle. He did not want to be in that situation where the coaching staff and the offense and the team hold Russ back, and Russ gets held back. He was awful in the first 3 quarters, right? And
but that's not anyone's...
There's no two ways about it.
What I'm saying is that's not...
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
That's what John Elway was like with Dan Reeves.
Yep.
Nothing going in the first 3 quarters. And then the fourth quarter, Dan Reeves would say, okay, it's time to go do your thing. And then John Elway would do his thing in the fourth quarter, come back and win a game. That's exactly what Russell Wilson's first 10 years in Seattle were like. And that's why he wanted to leave. He wanted to be unleashed before. Now, it works, and it worked tonight. Russell Wilson's great at doing this, but Russell Wilson does not want to be put in that situation, and the Broncos cannot be put in this situation where they score 11 points in a game. The offense is responsible for 9 points in a game. You cannot do that. And Russ took over when he was Russ. When he was running, he scrambled to buy
100%.
time in order to get that pass to Kendall Hinton. He scrambled for 2 first downs on that drive. That was Russ being Russ. We know Nathaniel Hackett has wanted Russ to stay in the pocket, not do those things. And we haven't seen Russ be an effective quarterback when he's focused on doing that. Russ needs to be unleashed from the start of the game, and then we can see more than 10 points, more than 14 points being scored. So I know what you're saying, Ryan, and it worked out great tonight. But we got to let Russ do this before the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what I was going to say, and sorry for trying to interrupt you, is that...
Wow, I was steamrolling through.
You were like, I don't know, Javonte Williams. Just keeping your legs churning.
Or Melvin Gordon at the 1.
Yes, good job, Melvin.
He did it.
Hopefully I didn't fumble it.
2 fumbles.
Oh, God.
I was going to say I think Russ was the most at fault tonight for the offense. It's not... It really, I don't feel like it was that much anyone's fault. It was...
Or the opposite. It was everyone's fault.
No, I think it was the 49ers' fault in the sense that they're really good.
They are really good.
And a lot of the times I saw plays developing and the pass rush getting home. And so maybe that's the offensive lineman's fault. But it's also like you have to sometimes tip your cap to a really good defense. And that's what I came away from this game feeling like is those guys can really go. And they absolutely did tonight against this Broncos offense. Now, I'd like to see them solve it a little better. But when you can't throw it and things are covered up in the back, then it's just going to be difficult. And it was really difficult tonight. And, the play action for the most part wasn't working because they were, pinching those edges and not allowing Russ to get out. There's the play with Bosa where he tripped him and, they picked up the flag and those sort of things. But it was just like there wasn't a lot of room for anyone to go. The pocket wasn't clean. And instead of being like the offensive line is terrible and the play calling is terrible and the receivers can't catch, which was a problem at some points, I just came away being like, yeah, the 49ers are really good.
The offense was very, very bad. The Broncos had 14 drives. The last one ended in just handing the ball off. 9 3-and-outs in their first 13 drives. I mean, and then, okay, you had 14. 10 3-and-outs. Of course, it was because they were going up against a good 49ers defense. But still, that is really, really bad. And it's not like you can look back at the past few weeks and be like, well, this was an anomaly. That being said, the defense kept him in the game. Yep. And then Russell Wilson took over when he needed to. And that's the biggest takeaway for me from the offensive side is, 1, little concerned about the offense right now, but 2, that is what Russell Wilson needs to be. And I was thinking about this on my way here after the game. I want Russ to be here. I want him to play 10 or 12 more years, like he said. But you know what? If letting Russ be Russ in terms of running around, scrambling, what he did that final drive, if that means he gets only 6 years here as opposed to Russ staying in the pocket and playing 10 to 12 more years, that's what you got to do. Because Russell Wilson is great, elite, when he is Russ.
Yep.
Don't change him into just this good, average. I mean, at times below average tonight quarterback. Let him be Russ because he was fun on that drive.
Yeah, jumping back to your point, I mean, most of the credit, more than half the credit goes to that 49ers defense.
Yes.
Like you said, there's just nothing out there. At the same time, though, Russell was missing throws. He was missing too many throws for how much money he's making. That third down to Jerry Jeudy, terrible.
Yep.
That can't happen.
Also, kind of a weak effort from Jerry.
Fair
No,
enough, but that was
when
way
he-
behind him.
it-
I don't
it-
think
there
he
was
had much
zero
of a chance.
of him getting it.
Okay.
though.
Yep. I mean, and there were some other misses there too. And on top of that, I mean, the drops on the flip side. You know, it's easier just to point at Russ because he missed all those throws. There's like 4 different guys, whatever, who all had a drop, so you can't just put it all on one person. But there were some mistakes like that you can't give credit to the 49ers for too.
Yeah, I mean, Cortland took at least 3 points off the board with his drop.
Yep.
And
Yeah, that the one hit Jerry's hands deep.
Oh,
Now I think it was
God.
tipped a little bit before, so you take a
was
little
tough to
bit
tell.
off of that. But I mean, still,
Both
that,
hands.
it's a touchdown.
Both hands.
Yeah.
Not even just a long completion. It's a touchdown.
So was that one to Debo if that ball isn't
I
underthrown
know,
and
I know.
Josie's able to catch
That's what I
up.
yelled in the stands. I'm like, it was a touchdown if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't suck.
Oh,
game could have been
God.
over. I mean, game could have been over
Yeah.
if Jimmy doesn't suck, as you said.
Wow.
Here's the thing about Russ, though, is like, he would have just found a way to get the Broncos back into the game. That's just what he does.
And I do think there's something to that because at the very end, obviously, they let the leash off. You need your 75 yards or whatever it is, and he goes and does it because he always does. I think that when you wind up in a game, I mean, hopefully the defense is keeping the scores low, all that, but you play the Chargers or whatever, and the Chargers are off and running, and they score touchdowns on their first 2 drives. I think that Russ is more than capable of opening
Which Chargers
that up.
are you talking about?
The Los Angeles Chargers,
Oh.
the 1 and 2, sorry, Los
Yeah,
Angeles
okay. I was
Chargers.
just making sure. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, if they get hot, I think that that's when everything starts to kick up because that's when it kind of turns to go time.
Yes.
It's just that in this game, there really was no go time. It would have been nice, obviously, to not let things get to where they did and to take a lead and all that. But the back against the wall moment didn't hit until so late that's when it kicked in. Whereas you're down 14-3, all of a sudden, I think that you could see that earlier.
I want to address this now because it's made its way into the comment section, and I'm wearing a Shannon Sharp jersey. So Shannon Sharp tweets out.
I have the tweets in Slack if you want to.
Yeah, Kale, do you have these?
Broncos
No
assignments.
worries. We don't need them. Yep, right here. Okay, Shannon Sharp tweets out, Judy does all this route running in the offseason and can't catch a effing pass. Now, people are
Yikes.
kind of coming after Judy for what he responded. I feel the exact opposite about this.
Wait, Jerry responded?
He sure
Jerry
did.
did respond. And here it comes. Jerry said, LMAO, I'm going to be the bigger man and let him have that, LOL. Good win today, though. Go Broncos. This is a huge
Yeah.
step in the right direction for Jerry Judy.
Yeah.
I don't see how it could be interpreted in any other way as,
Yeah.
good job, Jerry.
Well, I don't even know how it is interpreted any other way.
Well, someone said, like, I saw in the comment section, someone said, someone at Broncos headquarters needs to take Jerry's phone away.
Unless he kept going.
Did he
like,
tweet something else?
Not that I've seen.
Let's double check before we give him credit.
Uh-huh.
Nope, he didn't.
No. Okay.
Someone
I'll
says
go.
check the deleted tweet. He
Oh.
deleted his first tweet.
no.
So there was something.
Okay. Let me see if I can dig that up.
That makes
Someone's
sense.
got a screenshot. Let us know.
There it is. And you be doing all that talking during the
He
season
quote tweeted
while
the
your
sharp thing.
breath be smelling like your ass.
Oh boy. Oh
Ah.
boy.
All right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Guess maybe I should have thought. I wanted to give Jerry credit, but no. All right, fine.
Yeah.
His ribs hurt. He took that hit early too, and he was fine. I mean,
He made
his
a
ribs
And
hurt.
we
big
talked
catch
about,
on third down.
We talked about it last week,
Yeah.
though, just
That's
how
hilarious.
important Jerry Judy and Pat Surtain were to this game.
Sorry, chat.
And it turned out that Pat Surtain was the one that was so key for this game.
Oh my goodness.
God, he's good, man.
He's really good.
That first breakup, the one that went up in the air, and you're just like,
almost
is
a
he
pick.
gonna pick this off too? Like, is he gonna somehow get his hand on that ball and pick it off? Like, that man's insane. He's all over the place. And K1 had a great breakup too. K1 Williams, that third down late
If he didn't
across
have
the
a
middle.
club hand, he might have picked it.
Yep.
But he does have a club hand. Ooh, also, sex bots in the chat.
Yeah, of course.
Hey,
they were here
let's
in the
go.
game. I said that was good luck, and it was. And now
It
they're
was.
back to celebrate.
There we go. That means good news for next week, right?
Yeah. So, anyways, that was a funny moment. I don't know. Sometimes I do feel like Shannon Sharp talks too much.
I mean, that's his job.
Yes, it is.
Like, that's why
It
he's
is.
employed. He's
It
better than
is.
Kendrick Perkins, you know? Like, Kendrick Perkins is just like the exact same, except even more wrong.
Yeah, and
Hey,
Jerry Judy's better than
That's
Isaiah
friend of the
McKenzie.
show, Kendrick Perkins. He
Friend of a
came on
Well, I
different
don't know.
the
Isaiah
You don't
McKenzie
get
had
to-
a good game.
He's not a
today.
friend of our show.
You don't get to cool off when you talk to Nuggets fans, and then no, that's not how that works.
Anyways, this was a weird wild and crazy game. And the Broncos came out of it 2-1 in first place in the division.
Yep.
Tied for first place with Kansas City, who, technically has the...
We're 3 weeks in. They're tied
Yeah,
for first
exactly.
place in the division.
They're tied for first place in the
Yes.
division. And amid all of the, the hand-wringing and the struggles and the issues, they're right there. And they get to go to Las Vegas next week to take on the 0-3 Josh McDaniels-led Las Vegas Raiders.
By the way, the only 0-3 team in the NFL. There's one other winless team, but that team is the Houston Texans, and they have a
2-1.
tie. So they're the only 0-3
Wow.
team. And after the Raiders game today, in which they lost to the Titans, you know what happened? Josh McDaniels was very delayed talking to the media as he was having a long conversation with owner Mark Davis. There's already trouble in Vegas with Josh McDaniels. Broncos have a perfect opportunity to end Josh McDaniels next week.
Honestly, looking at Mark Davis, I didn't even know it was possible to have a conversation with him.
Also, the best division in NFL history.
Not
Terrible.
Yeah.
Below 500. They're not good.
But you know what? That's the Broncos will take that. That it's not
Sure.
the best division in NFL history if
Yep.
they can be ahead after an 0-1 start.
Yeah.
2-game win streak.
I mean, think about this. All of the things we talked about, the Broncos are ahead of the Chargers. And they're obviously ahead of the Raiders, and they're right there with the Chiefs.
Yep.
Now, this stuff has to get fixed.
Yep.
Oh,
Without
yeah.
a doubt.
But you
And there's a lot on
every
offense.
single time you come out of a game and you come out with a dub, you just buy yourself time.
I mean, you'd way rather fix things with a win
Yep.
than on a loss.
And if the Broncos lost tonight, we'd be talking about the decision to not kick a 58-yard field goal, and we'd be talking about the 2 failed challenges, and we'd be talking about all that stuff. And guess what? Nathaniel Hackett bought himself more time too.
He did.
Not, for his job,
He also bought himself a game manager.
but he bought himself a game manager, and he bought himself some time to get this right. You got to go against the Raiders next week. And honestly, you have the opportunity to drive a stake through their heart.
Yeah.
Like, what's the movie? It's called Zombieland. And in the movie,
love that movie.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Woody Harrelson talks about, is it called the double tap?
Yeah.
Yep, they're on the ground right now.
Yeah.
You gotta double tap, make sure they're actually dead. They're not actually dead yet, but you have a chance to take that shotgun and put it right through.
You have
them
a
next
chance
week.
to end Josh McDaniels. Now, maybe not his actual coaching career at the Raiders, but essentially end him. But, and we're going to talk about the Raiders a ton this week,
Let's go. Double tap the Raiders.
0-3 Raiders with Josh McDaniels is a much scarier team than it
Yes.
seems.
Yes.
No, it is.
It
is.
definitely is.
Are you in the?
It's their season next week, Ryan. Just like you said, you can end them.
If they were 1-2, it would be their season 2.
Yeah. But now it's even more so their season.
They're
Their
desperate.
season's already done.
But they're even more desperate.
The desperation is
Yes.
going to be there. I'm being one of the most positive ones in here. What are we talking about?
Don't
Get
read the
out of
comments.
here
Don't
in
read
the
the
comments.
comments.
Before we
Don't read
even
the
started,
comments.
people was,
Dude,
oh,
dude,
Zach's so
dude.
negative.
People
What are you
loving
talking
you.
about? I said that
People
weak
loving
defense.
you.
Get out of here, you people. But don't get out of here if you're Athletic Greens, because the Broncos are going to need some Athletic Greens to feel good tomorrow morning. After that, I mean, just a grinding win they had. You turn to Athletic Greens in the morning, makes you feel better. I'm going to need some Athletic Greens to feel better with all these people in the chat saying I'm negative. It'll make me feel a lot better in the morning. And what Athletic Greens does is it gives you probiotics, vitamins, minerals, everything that your body needs to get the day started. Athletic Greens has that, and it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. And it's not just us that loves Athletic Greens. It is over 7,000 five-star reviews. So you should check them out by going to athleticgreens.com/Broncos, which will get you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and free five free travel packs with your first purchase. Check them out, athleticgreens.com/Broncos. You're going to feel good.
I'm loving the chat tonight.
I'm hating the chat tonight.
Wow. Cool. Okay, we got
That makes me love it even more.
to give him a strawberry sky or something. Breckenridge Brewery's
plenty.
awesome. We went out to Breckenridge Brewery this week on
Yes.
Friday. What a day!
Did you get a pick with a cup?
Yeah, I got a pick with the cup. Of
Good
course,
job.
I got a pick with the cup. That's what I was there to
I
do.
don't think that floated through the company Slack, though.
No, nobody sent my picture. Nobody invited me to the group picture.
'Cause you were late.
I was at work when I was told be there between 2 and 3. It's like, oh,
We honestly didn't know what we were getting ourselves into.
apparently.
But when we got there, they were like, "Hey, you guys get to go first."
Yeah. So that was cool. I did get my picture though. Oh, I do need blue pants. But now I'm all thrown off. We got to tour the brewery. It was really cool. All the different beers, whole bunch of things and barrels. It was actually really sick watching how things get canned.
Yes,
and then the
we
cans
watched
go
that
into
for
stuff.
20 minutes.
The thing got jammed for a second
Uh-oh.
with the boxes going through. Got to see how they fix it when a box gets jammed in the can boxer. It was awesome. I don't know if it sounds awesome. It was awesome. Go down to the farmhouse in Littleton, though. They have really good food. We got
Most
charcuterie
exciting
boards.
vision of a box getting jammed of my life.
I was standing there thinking, like, I wish that I had just recorded this whole time I was watching, just so I could kind of play it on repeat. And just when I'm stressed out or something, you sit down on the couch,
Yeah.
put it on the big screen, just watch these things get canned.
Yeah, and you could get a ton of views on YouTube with just box gets jammed.
It's so true. It's so true. Breckenridge is awesome. Wait, no, I
Took
get
me
it.
a while
I
to get
get
there.
it.
Yeah,
Come
me and
on.
Hank, it
Oh
took
my
a while.
goodness. Put that down. No, I can't right now. It's a Breckenridge drink, isn't it? Okay, it's so good. We have beers at the tailgate, all that stuff. Drink a Strawberry Sky. It's almost vanilla porter
Ryan's
junior
got a
season.
seltzy,
It's
good
stuff.
company there.
Yep. Breckenridge Brewery, they're awesome. Hootenanny also. Go to the Hootenanny.
Go to the Hootenanny. Also, if you want good company, come hang out at the tailgate.
Wow,
Today
okay.
was an unreal tailgate.
Yeah.
Vibes were immaculate. Shout outs. We got a few. We had a couple from Iceland there. They gave me Icelandic candy. Slaps.
What are we talking?
They were like little mini chocolate malt balls, kind of like Whoppers, but smaller.
Oh.
So think of chocolate covered raisin size, but Whoppers. I could have eaten 100 of them. I was like, I only want 3, and then I ate them. I was like, I should have asked for so
The
many more.
proportions are so much better on the small ones. Because there's too much middle in the Whopper.
Yes, exactly. Too
In
much
Iceland,
Whopper.
they get that shit right.
Yes, Iceland has it right. They were great. So cool to see the different people that came out here. We had a couple of friends who came out from Salt Lake City. You know how they became friends?
How so?
The comment section.
Heck
Wow.
yes, I love it.
One of them commented they were in Salt Lake. The other one commented in the Salt Lake. Now they're really good
Yeah.
friends.
That's too
Their
cool.
wives are good friends. That's what this is about.
We
This
brought
is
wives
that's
together, too.
Legitimately why we do this, for stories like that. And it's so cool and so special to meet all of you guys at the tailgate. Montana was in the house. Wyoming was in the house.
Yeah, got to give a shout out to Kyler, Cody, Amanda. Met so many awesome people at the tailgate.
That's
Awesome.
3 different
so
people,
you
right?
guys
It's 3 different
Kyler,
people.
Cody,
yes.
Amanda would be a
yes,
sick
exactly.
name.
Like if I say Russ, Cortland, and Judy, those are 3 different people there. Hank.
Russ, Cortland, Judy.
So thank you guys so much for coming out. Also, shout out to my guy Ty. He probably knows why I'm giving him a shout out, but I don't have to say it here.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay. So I'm gonna go down and buy him. I owe him a drink.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
I'll buy him a drink after this. All right. Let's jump into some helmet stickers, and I'm gonna go first because this guy, we talked about him a little bit, but he deserves the biggest helmet sticker,
Wow.
supersized helmet sticker. Corliss Waitman.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, Corliss
Yes.
starting off with a punter, but he deserves it, especially with all the criticism he received. I mean, Dwayne Stukes put him on blast last week,
Yeah.
saying that he was already concerned with Corliss Waitman's net punt average, which coming into this game was 32 yards a punt. That is awful. He also said, what was the word he used? Why can't I think of it? It was
Sickening.
Sickening. Yes, the net average was sickening. There's nothing sickening about Corliss Waitman tonight.
I mean, it was sick what he did because he pinned him on the inside the 5 multiple times, inside the 10 multiple times.
He had 20 punts or 6 punts inside the 20.
Might as well have had 20 punts
Pretty
inside
much.
the 20. 10 punts overall, 476 yards in punts. Every hit was a good hit, and he deserves a lot of credit because it would have been easy under these circumstances to turtle and have his worst game of the year. But under the lights, with the most pressure on him, when he was needed the most, he had the best game of his career.
Yeah, without a doubt, and shows why the Broncos decided to go with the guy with the higher upside with Corliss, and he was a beast today, almost 500 punting yards, was absolutely huge, and honestly, you
so
probably
dumb.
give the San Francisco punter a helmet sticker if
Yes.
they win the
Yes.
game, because he was great.
Oh
he had a
my
perfect
goodness.
punt.
It was
literally a
incredible.
perfect punt.
What'd you guys think? On
back
the
and
line or
forth.
not?
It was perfect punt
It hit the
because It did not hit the
It hit
line.
the
It
line.
went over the line, but it wasn't touching.
I think the foot was on the line.
From the angle that I saw, I didn't see it.
You
but-
just never could. It was one of those weird things because you couldn't see any green in between it, but you couldn't definitively say his foot was touching the line. It was
Right.
like one of those weird things, and the ball was the same thing. The ball landed,
Yeah.
and the nose of the ball was absolutely
Was
over
over,
the line,
yeah.
but it wasn't
Yep.
It
touching.
wasn't touching, yeah, and I don't know how that rule is supposed to be.
The rule is it has to touch the line.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I don't think it did. I mean, it was incredible.
But I think the foot touched the line. It was one, like, we say game of inches.
Yeah.
This was literally game of millimeters,
Yeah.
not even
Yes.
centimeters.
yeah, it absolutely was. But I'm gonna give my helmet sticker to our DraftKings Sportsbook King of the game. Welcome back, Josie Jewell.
Oh.
Welcome back. He hadn't played a game in a year. And this is what he does when he comes out. He didn't just wait till the fourth quarter. No. Josie Jewell, a sack in the first quarter, a tackle for a loss in the first quarter, back-to-back plays for Josie Jewell in the first quarter, a sack, then a tackle for a loss. He also had a fumble recovery. Josie Jewell was all over the place, 9 tackles. And boy, this is why they paid Josie Jewell $11 million over 2 years. Welcome back. The Broncos missed you.
It's a great game. It was a really great game. He was all over the place. He was doing good stuff.
It sounded like a condescending, like, it was a great game.
It should have been Corliss Waitman. Corliss Waitman was better. And then see,
Fuck
like,
outta here.
no, you said in the chat, we had Corliss Waitman. You said that would be disingenuous to the defense or something like that.
Disservice.
This is a disservice to Corliss freaking Waitman and that special teams unit. Special teams all night incredible. Those kickoffs, too. Brad McMahon's pin him in the corner. They're getting out,
Those
first
were
one
sick.
9, next one the 15. Special teams deserves credit.
Aaron
Corliss
Patrick.
Waitman is my king of the game.
Okay, well, he's not our
Aaron
king of the
Patrick,
game,
yeah.
so sorry.
You
He's
can
my
have
king of the
whoever
game.
you want.
He's my king of the game.
I said it before the season.
making my own
before
graphic.
that Seattle Seahawks game, I said people will underrate what a loss not having Josie Jewell is, and they lost that game. Now, I don't know how much Josie would have really made a difference about them fumbling twice on the goal line, but tonight you really saw just how important he is, and we complain. You know, I saw someone say in the comments he had a couple missed tackles, and it's just like, yeah, remember how we talk about how if you don't play in the preseason, it makes tackling hard. The fact that he tackled as well as he did, when not only did he not play in the preseason, he didn't play all of last season, save for 2 games, or was it 1 game? 2 games.
He played a game and a half last
Okay.
year. Yeah.
So he hasn't played in over a calendar year.
Yep.
And he went out there and was an absolute beast. He's a guy who has been underappreciated for his time in Denver. And I think finally his appreciation is coming to light. Everyone in the stands talking about how great he was, cheering his name. Great for Josie, man. He's a beast.
Yeah, absolutely a beast. He deserves that big time.
Shout out to all the Iowa Broncos fans. There's a lot.
There is a lot, and he was a monster.
Yes, he was.
Hank?
Oh, yeah, I have a helmet 6 too. I was mostly thinking about Corliss
You
Waitman.
can give another one to Close Waitman if
Oh,
it's that
my
important
goodness.
to you.
He just deserves them all. How about
Go to another Big Ten product.
let's go
named-
Randy Gregory.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
There
Let's
it
go
is.
Randy Gregory. I mean, he's been
I
so
guess it
good
was
these
Big 12
last couple
probably when he
weeks. He's just so strong. He's just mauls guys. He makes big tackles. You know, even early on, there's that one play where the run's going by him. He just hugs the guy, stands him up right there. And in a game where you're playing a team that just wants to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball, the fact that he is out there just grabbing guys, stopping them in their tracks, that is so valuable, but it gets totally forgotten. There's no falling forward with Randy Gregory. Obviously, there's the big sack. It's just been so much fun seeing him and Bradley Chubb out there. Like I said earlier, they've done everything you could have asked for. Again, with the caveat being they just need to stay healthy, and that was the biggest concern.
Randy Gregory is a fan favorite in the sense that everyone sees him when they're in the stands and goes, oh my God, that guy is so big. It is unbelievable. Like, I'm with Henry's dad and 2 of his friends, and each one of them separately asked me, how tall is that guy? Like,
He's a monster.
he doesn't look like he belongs on the edge. He looks like
Yeah.
he belongs running a seam route.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a absolute monster. His arms are so long. His hands are massive. His grip strength was on display tonight. Like,
Strongest grip.
he gets behind a guy. You know, he's just holding onto his jersey,
Yeah.
pulls him all the way down by his jersey. It's incredible. And he, to this point, I'm going to touch wood, has absolutely been the guy that George Payton thought he was when he backed up the Brinks truck for him. And it looked kind of questionable at the time. I don't know what Chandler Jones' stats are, but I haven't noticed him in the times that I've been watching the Raiders. And you can't watch a second of Denver Broncos football on defense without noticing Granny Gregory.
100%. He's been an absolute beast, exactly, and everything what the Broncos wanted him to be.
So awesome. All right, my turn again. I'm going Cortland Sutton. 8 catches for 97 yards. He did have the drop on a very important play. He still deserves a helmet sticker because he was essentially what he was last week. You know, Jerry Jeudy finishes this game 2 catches for 17 yards. Should have been 3 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown, but he dropped it. And it was a difficult catch for sure. Even if the guy didn't touch it, it looked like he was going to, and that always throws off your eyes. That being said, this felt just like last week. Cortland Sutton or nothing. And the Broncos go 5 wide. They get Cortland Sutton in single coverage, press, in one of the biggest plays of the game. Russ finds him, goes to him on the deep comeback route, and it was just like it's essentially a green light. You see Cortland Sutton in press coverage, in single coverage, just go there. Guaranteed every time. Not always going to complete it, but that is your read, and he is what we thought he would be with Russell Wilson.
They aren't afraid to show it either. Like when he's in single coverage, they'll let the entire stadium know, oh, this ball's going to Cortland Sutton. And that's what they did on that first drive where him and Russ were just pointing at each other and doing whatever.
Cortland's out there just flailing his hands multiple times.
Yeah, single
just
coverage.
Give me the ball. And he got him the ball.
Well, they're obviously doing signals on what route it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I think there must have been a miscommunication on that one because Russ definitely thought that was back shoulder and Cortland did not think it was back shoulder.
I think Cortland did too. He was just 5 yards further downfield at the time.
Yeah. And
I think Russ it was back shoulder. And it was bad. It was a terrible
throw. Berman throw?
Terrible. Yes. Terrible throw, though. Terrible.
Not terrible. Pat Surtain gets a helmet sticker. We've already mentioned him. 0 receptions allowed. When you have Deebo Samuel as the leading receiver for the 49ers, and he's at 70, I believe, 73, 79 yards, and then you have Brandon Ayuk in the 30s
73.
as the second leading receiver at 39, you have done your job as a secondary. George Kittle was a non-factor, and it all starts because Pat Surtain is elite. Pat Surtain is the best player on the Denver Broncos right now, and he is already a top 3, top 1 best cornerback in the entire NFL right now. 2 huge pass breakups, and like we said in the second half, Jimmy G just said, yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to do it once in an entire half because it's just not going to be caught.
So great.
A true shutdown corner. And, I mean, it's fair to throw the name Champ Bailey around when you talk about Pat Surtain.
We're fully entering the Champ Bailey experience.
Yep.
He's right there. And not only was it not being targeted tonight, but it was when he was targeted making massive pass breakups on big downs in big ways. I'm so sad he didn't get that tip to himself because he deserved it. He earned it tonight. And with a bum shoulder, just goes out there and looks like the best cornerback in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable to watch. And I love being at the games when you can just decide, like, I'm going to watch Pat Surtain on this play. Mm-hmm. You're not at the mercy of the camera. And the way that he works, he's such a technician. He's a second-year player, guys. Like, how does he keep going up from here? I don't even know where he has to go. And it's exciting to even think about.
It is, absolutely.
I'll go with Mike Purcell here.
Oh,
nice.
Yep.
Love that pick.
I know. He was so good. Another former Niner, and he doesn't get the attention those other guys do. DJ Jones, Kalen Williams, they come in.
Former everything.
Not everything. we're not talking Josh Johnson.
No,
hopefully
not quite.
We're not talking Josh Johnson again. But Mike Purcell, even from the start, he had the big tackle for loss early on that first drive. He was credited with the sack for the safety just because he was closest in the rush. But the 5 solo tackles, tied for the most in the game. That's what you want from your nose tackle. That's not even what you want. You just want him to clog things up. The fact that he's getting tackles and bringing guys to the ground all by himself, just a monster night and was obviously right at the center of everything that was happening in that run defense, which was incredible. 88 yards allowed on the ground. That's so good. Especially like when you throw in there like the 37-yard run, and there were a couple leaky ones, which, is part of the average, and you can't just throw out those things. But there were a lot of plays where Mike Purcell was right there in the middle, clogging everything up, and that was really important.
Something that's not being talked about, and I haven't seen him get much credit at all, Kareem Jackson. How about that pass breakup that he had, the pass defense, which then allowed Jonas Griffith to get the interception to essentially seal the game. Kareem Jackson was all over it. You also had K'Wan Williams right there in coverage, but it was Kareem who got his hand on the ball to pop it up. Helmet sticker for the safety. See, Kareem?
Speaking of safeties getting helmet sticker, PJ Locke, the play.
Yep.
The game-winning play. And
he locked down the dub.
There was a lot of hand-wringing about Nathaniel Hackett's decisions to punt the ball a lot tonight, obviously 10 times. And one of them is, and to be honest, it was in my head. I was thinking, man, there's a chance they lose another game, and they took the ball out of Russ's hands in the biggest moment.
Yeah.
And Nathaniel Hackett said, now we're good. Punt it down there. They aren't scoring on us. And remember, all they needed was a field goal. And if PJ Locke doesn't go punch that ball out, they're probably at least close to first. Had they gotten a first down at that point?
They were. I think they were going to be like a yard short.
They're going to be very close.
Yep.
And again, they're 2 to 3 first downs away from winning that football game. PJ Locke tracks him down, and again, this is a guy who has not seen a lot of burn in the NFL. And so instead of just diving at the guy's legs and making sure he makes a tackle, he has the wherewithal to say, no, I can get this thing. Punches the ball out and makes the play. And to your guys' credit, Kareem Jackson, who got a helmet sticker, right there for it, ready for it, and makes the play on the ball. That's so exciting to me. And, Nathaniel Hackett, we'll probably get into him at some point later in the week, just some of the decisions that he made.
A lot of people back and forth in the comments right now about him.
He was absolutely, positively justified in his decision to put the game in the defense's hands. PJ Locke sealed it for him.
Yep, absolutely. And that leads to a helmet sticker. You got something?
No, for Jonas Griffith.
What?
Jonas Griffith helmet sticker.
Okay, there you go.
He had the pick at the end. That's it.
Yep. Sealed the game. I'm gonna go with Giro Evero.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Massive
He
helmet
wear a
sticker.
Helmet.
He.
You're gonna make him wear a helmet.
We
next
give
week?
it. We give
Hat
him
sticker.
a hat pin,
okay.
right?
Hat pin.
And this is the coach that deserves the hat pin more than anyone else. The entire defense got a game ball from Nathaniel Hackett after the game, and Giro deserves it more than anyone else. What he was able to do on defense so far, absolutely incredible. We talk about just how this team is 2-1. It's because of him and his defense. Last week, I believe it was Draymond Jones called him a top 3 defensive coordinator. He just builds off of that. Just an incredible performance from this defense.
People in the comments want to give one to Coach Rosberg.
Not coach, I don't think.
I don't.
No.
Well, I just
Special
don't think.
assistant.
Yeah, special assistant.
I don't think he did anything.
What he did, I don't know if this was him, but no delay of games.
Yes.
I mean, start looking at the positives
I called
of
it.
this.
I took under 1.5.
Yeah.
The crowd started chanting once. The countdown was on
Twice.
once. Oh, there was
Twice.
another?
Yeah,
Yep.
it was really loud once. 0 for 2 on challenges, though.
Yeah, that's not a good start to his challenging career. Is it? Last one I want to give out is a jersey, hat, shoe, could be jean sticker, whatever you guys want. It goes to the crowd. The crowd was epic and insanely loud on the last 2 drives for the 49ers, and I feel like it really made a difference.
The stadium was shaking.
Yes.
It was the most electric that stadium's been in a long time.
It felt so good to just feel like, when there's a loud roar of a crowd, you can feel it inside of your body. And that was epic to feel, especially because no flex, because they're not my tickets, they're Henry's dad's. But the lower you are, the more you hear it, because there's more people above you going down. And it was just so loud, so raucous. And, especially when that ball pops out and Kareem Jackson just deafening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
shout out to the crowd.
Yeah, and the crowd also, they were letting the offense hear it. Many times they were booing, but then you know what? You can boo and then turn around and then cheer for your team. And we've had a lot of people just going back and forth throughout this week. You can't do that. You can't. The crowd is great. Tonight, I thought the offense deserved the boos when they got it, and the defense deserved all of the credit they got to make Jimmy G's life a living hell in the final 2 minutes of the game. And really quick, what do you guys think of the challenges? Should they have been won?
I said game of inches, game of millimeters.
Game of millimeters.
Both of them are millimeters away. The Russ one was a couple more millimeters away, I felt. But the thing is, it's like his hand is on the ball, so you can't totally see where the tip of the ball is. His hand is there, but you can't see the tip of the ball. I think they are both potentially winnable, but it's one of those things where if I was advising Nathaniel Hackett, I would just say, and I got enough looks before I told him, I would say, I don't think they're going to overturn it. I think we might be right here, but they're not going to overturn it.
Exactly.
The Russ one, I don't know if they were able to show this angle on TV, but the first angle I saw, I was like, oh my gosh, she's
Easy.
over by like 3 feet.
All the players are jumping up and down
Yep.
next to Nathaniel Hackett saying, challenge, challenge,
And
challenge.
I know they showed that one on TV, but then they had this other angle, which I was like, stop showing this on the stadium, because it was actually the perfect angle.
It's a camera that's on the first down marker.
And it showed that he was millimeters short. So I actually thought it was a good call by them.
Here's you know all the issues I have with spotting the ball in the NFL. If you challenge it and the spot was not exactly correct, you shouldn't lose the challenge. The ball should have been moved 6 inches forward.
But then you could
That's
just
a successful challenge.
you would always move the ball.
Yeah, but
they'd
you-
be like 10% of the time they're like, "Yep, down to the
But you-
3-inch mark. We
You
got this
still
one right."
only get 3 if you get them all right.
That is true.
So, that the ball should have been moved forward because they had the Broncos about 8 inches short. The Broncos were a millimeter short. So the ball should have been moved up as close as you possibly can to the line, and then you go for it. But the Broncos punt it, and, they're justified in that decision as well in the end.
Yep.
But I hate that. If you spotted the ball wrong and they challenge it, and you have to move the ball to make a better spot, they should win the challenge.
Look how
I
much
wonder.
winning helps, though. We don't have to worry about those small decisions. And there were a lot of decisions back and forth about what to do, but we don't have to worry about those. And something you don't have to worry about. If you bet on the Broncos to win this game, once they took the lead over at DraftKings Sportsbook, you didn't have to worry about
won.
if they were going to win or not. You won your bet, and I say this all the time. What separates DraftKings Sportsbook is all the promos they gave. Yesterday for college ball, I think I got like 4 or 5 profit boosts that were just given to me and made the day a lot more fun. Tonight, they gave us the Broncos one where if the Broncos had a lead at any point in the game, you won your bet right away. Turns out you didn't need it because the Broncos came away with the dub no matter what. So if you get in to DraftKings Sportsbook, they're going to keep giving you awesome benefits of being a member. It's not just right when you get in the door, but when you get in the door, one of the things they're going to do is they're going to give you $200 in free bets by placing a $5 money line bet on any NFL game. It's running through this week. Not sure about after that, so make sure to get in right now over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Place a $5 money line bet on any NFL team, and once you do that, you will win $200 in free bets. That's what you need to do. So check out DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. For all of the terms, see our link or see our reads in the description.
And get out to Infinity Park and watch some rugby. I know we're all kind of amped up. Broncos don't play again until next Sunday. They also won't be back here until the Thursday after that. Right? That's Thursday. Yeah, it's the Colts. That's right. So make sure you get on out to
big
Infinity
bad
Park
Colts.
in Glendale. Yeah, get some of this energy out. Watch some people hit each other. Watch some rugby. The American
Broncos
Raptors are all
four
fun.
sorry.
Oh,
Continue.
no, go ahead.
Broncos going to be 4-1 in like 12 days.
They very well
11
could be.
2 and 3.
Need to score some points.
Wow, negative Hank.
Oh, no,
negative
no,
Hank
no,
over
no,
here.
no, we can't
Come
be
on, chat.
circling around.
Let's let him hear it.
By the way, I said last week, not going to beat the Niners scoring 16 points. Wrong.
Oh,
You're only
also,
gonna need 11.
the Broncos could be 16-1 in 3 months. So top that, Zach.
No. Already negative.
No,
Can't
4
turn it
months.
around.
4 months. Damn it. Okay, but yeah, the American Raptors. Get out there. If you go to AmericanRaptors.com, you can get free tickets. It's a lot of fun. They train at the same place where the U.S. national team trains. It's a really cool program they've got going. So, like I said, AmericanRaptors.com, free tickets, all that stuff. But also follow along with Colton Strickler and DNVR Rugby podcast, written stuff, all that. Check it out.
All right. Kale, we got some super chats to get to.
Oh,
By the way,
baby,
I
yes,
saw
we do.
so the other night I watched a Eagles post game show. It was electric. It was after
wow.
they won whatever game they played, a primetime game recently. Yeah, the Monday Night Football game this week. And they did this cool thing where at the very end, when they got to all the super chats, or like their very last super chat, they said, we're putting 2 minutes on the clock. Any super chats that come in the next 2 minutes, we're getting to. After that, we're done. So we're going to do that tonight.
Okay.
Let's get to what we have now, though.
We're pretty good with countdowns around here, Ryan.
Yes, exactly.
We'll verse ourselves.
First
well.
one comes in euros, or are those pounds?
Those are
Kale's our world traveler.
I'm going to say euro, but
right.
don't quote me on that.
We're taking Kale's word for it. Screw that guy. He's talking about the Reddit commenter. Football calls for drinks. Well, I did have drinks.
There we go. There
Also-
we go.
I hopped behind the bar tonight. It was electric. So I went at the tailgate. I was like, "Hey, Katie, let me pour a couple drinks." She's like, "All right, I'm gonna tap you in." So she tagged me in like it was WWE tag team. I hopped in there. I was pouring drinks. It was electric. I made $9 in tips.
Dang.
I know.
Wow.
I know. And I only got like legitimately haggled by one guy. He was a 49ers fan.
Wow.
And he was like, "All right, do you have Bloody Marys?" And I was like, "No, we
No,
don't."
it's like 3 p.m., 4 p.m.
Yeah, I was like, "Sorry, we don't have any Bloody Mary mix." He's like, "Well, do you have tomato juice?" I was like,
Don't
"Nope."
have Bloody Mary mix.
No
Probably not
tomato
gonna
juice.
have
He's like,
tomato
"Okay."
juice.
He's like, "All right, I'll have a gin on the rocks." So I scoop. You know, it's hot out, so I scoop some ice out of the ice bin. There's like
Lottery.
this much water on the bottom. This much
Not
water.
happy
He goes,
about it.
"No water, please." I'm like, okay. Pour it out. Scoop some more. The cups here, it's full to here with ice. He goes, "Fill it up."
Oh.
And I thought he was saying he wanted me to fill it up with
Gin.
gin. I'm
Yeah.
like, with gin? He's like, "No, with ice." I'm like, okay. So I scoop like 2 more ice cubes onto the top of it. Then I pour it for him, hand it to him, and he just
Wow.
thumbs his nose essentially.
Classic
Wow.
49ers,
And
man.
walks away. But everyone else was amazing. I actually had a great time. First ever time being a bartender, I learned how to count.
Nice, big day.
I learned how to count out a shot. And
If you're at the Broncos game last week, you could have learned too.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Counted out a shot. I was going heavy-handed. You know, it's just how they were telling me to count to 4. I was counting to 4.5.
Oh, there
kind
we
of
go.
guy.
Generous
Wow.
guy. Next one coming in from Chris Delala. New Zealand dollars coming in. How about this? Says, most of my fantasy leagues are Niners gang. This was fun. Thanks, team. Chimes in with another 10 New Zealand dollars.
Wow.
Says, just wanted to say hi from New Zealand. Born and raised in the States. Unfortunately, left Colorado for New Zealand months before our first Super Bowl win, but still orange and blue till I die.
Yes.
We love you, but you got to stay in New Zealand. 3 Super Bowls since you moved.
Wow, yeah, it's a good success rate, and this is the perfect place for you, though.
We appreciate
It's probably
you,
like
though.
midday tomorrow for him.
Right, exactly.
So I hope you're enjoying your Monday.
Next one's from Logan, who says, "If Chubb continues to play like this, do you guys think we sign him long term? Also, if the broadcast mentions him playing QB anymore, I'm going to lose it."
Hall of Fame.
They gotta
Hall of
have
Fame
their
quarterback,
bits.
Kendall
Yeah.
Hinton. Yeah, of course.
At least there's no more
I actually
quarterback
had
there. So.
I had this thought for the first time tonight, which is like, man, you kind of have to keep this pass rushing duo together. They're sick.
We'll see. I mean, it's early. It's encouraging. They are
Yeah.
sick the way they're closing out games, but yeah, and that's the great thing. Is you have a whole year to see.
So Randy had 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and Chubb had 1 sack.
Yep.
Yep.
Felt like more, dude.
Yeah,
they were
it did.
in there so much.
They were, and the entire defense ended up having 4 sacks on the day. You'll take that.
Yes, you will.
So they've combined for 5 sacks so far this season, right?
2, 3 foot. I believe so. Yep.
That's solid.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
solid through 3 games.
It's very solid.
Yeah, I don't think we're. That's. Garth says he doesn't like rugby.
Okay, thanks, Garth.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah,
good call.
that's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Ian says, I'll eat crow. I thought Zach was going to come in hot and swinging, but he was a sweet boy like all of you. Sorry, Zach. Love you all. Let's ride.
Just a sweet boy.
I did say, so we were driving over here, and I was like, predictions in the car. We said on the show, a win in this game is a win. You don't need style points. Do Zach and Henry follow suit? And I was the only one who said no. So
Well, F
proud of you guys.
Hey.
The offense does simply have to get better. But
It does.
You know what's encouraging is the defense is doing everything they need to allow the offense to work through their growing pains. And what the offense has to do is prove that these are growing pains. But you know what? It's okay that the offense is having growing pains. But at some point, the pain has to go away, and you got to start seeing the growth. But the defense is holding them in there, and at the end of the day, they won this as a team, and they are 2-1. They're in a great position, especially with the offense playing really poorly through the first 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. They're buying the offense time.
Yeah.
We always knew, or at least we discussed the fact that it could end up being a situation where the offense takes time to figure it out and to mesh. You should have Quinn Miners back at the very least next week. You potentially have Billy Turner back next week. That could change everything. And guess what? The Raiders' defense sucks. Yeah. So you better put up some points next week. That should be your first opportunity since Seattle to really open it up on offense and go and score some points, and I'd like to see them do it.
Absolutely. They have a huge opportunity next week, and to just, again, bury Josh McDaniels. Jacob Weddle says, got to get this in before I go to bed. Ugly wins are still wins. We won a Super Bowl by almost exclusively ugly wins. Russ looked like a deer in headlights until the one drive in the fourth quarter when he cut loose. Good night. And then Logan chimes in with a very similar thing, says elite defense 2015 vibes, and Russ looked like Tebow.
Ooh, see, that's the thing, though, is like he's doing the Elway thing. He's also doing the Tebow thing. What you need is for him to be a lot more Elway than Tebow. And I think he'll come, but tonight was maybe just a little bit more Tebow than Elway.
What's funny is if Jerry just catches that ball, the numbers end up looking pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
If Court catches that ball.
Yep. That at least helps, and maybe you win a little more comfortably.
Get up to 14 points, baby.
It just doesn't matter.
Yep.
You beat a top 3 probably defense in the NFL. You beat them 11-10. Great job. You scored 9 points on offense. Didn't matter. You
Not
scored
good
one
job.
more point than you needed to.
Yep. And Russ made those, or he's made those throws in the past.
The throw to Kendall Hinton was so sick.
Yep.
It was. And here's the thing is, this team isn't going to win. Winning like this is not sustainable for 17 games, but great teams do find ways to win games when, one, their defense plays poorly. There's probably a time where this defense is going to give up 27 points, and can the offense step up and put up 30 points, and then vice versa. You're going to win a game when your offense puts up 11 points, I guess, but it's the defense stood up. So
Most teams wouldn't.
Big props.
And so
Yeah.
great pat on the back to that defense. I mean, I would venture to guess that no one scored a game, or no one has won a game this year scoring 11 or less.
Russ needs to
Potentially.
make those throws, though. He needs to make those throws.
For sure. Absolutely.
James says, NFL punt zone game of the year.
Yes. Oh, this is a classic. You know, everybody's always talking about, Manning, Brady on Sunday Night Football, or Rodgers is going at it with whoever in the NFC. We had Waitman and Wisnowski today, and it was incredible. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And there's moving.
2 dubs entered, only 1 dub could leave.
Exactly. But they just move, like, one offense would drive 5 yards, and the other would go, 8 yards. But then the punt would negate that. They go back and forth and back and forth. And then McManus misses that field goal, totally flips all of it. That's like 30 yards of field position compared to the punts, and all of a sudden they go and score off of that. And it's just...
Wait, I have
what a
question.
game from Corliss Waitman.
How much did that McManus field goal miss by? Because from my view, it missed by a lot.
It was never on track from my angle.
They didn't show a replay in the stadium.
50 plus. He between 50 and 60 yards. Brandon McManus is below average in the NFL.
Yikes. Wisnowski only 362 yards of punts.
Loser. More like
Loser.
weak sauce.
Also, more
Wisnowski.
punts than points in this game. How about that?
Love it.
No,
The way football should be.
No,
The
I
way
hate
football
it. But
should
you know
be.
what? You come away with the dub. That's all that matters.
I'll say this. if you're gonna get something in a game, like
Punts.
the defense going off in the way that it did is not quite as exciting as the offense going off in the way that it did. But it is so rewarding when they just keep getting those third down stops.
Every
You just
time.
get to go crazy down there.
Okay, I'll let you have that. Give me the 30-point games, please.
On top
Come
of
on,
that,
Russ.
though,
Give me the 30 points.
I do think the defense is maybe more valuable. Like in the current NFL, like if you have a defense
Yes.
that can actually go and shut down,
No Justin
defense wins
Simmons.
championships. Defense wins
No,
championships.
Hank.
Defense wins championships.
Open your eyes to what's happened the past 7 years.
When the Bills didn't win the championship,
When you have to have an offense to
We do.
be
When-
to
when
to
Von
be
Miller
in a
and Jalen
game in
Ramsey
game
and-
out.
He's not saying that,
Bobby
though.
Wagner.
He's saying that having the defense is what ends up winning it in the end.
It
Now,
is.
The Broncos should have the offense. If they ever get it together, this
Mm-hmm.
team could be really scary. And the way that people view the Bucs right now, I think, is the way that the Broncos could be viewed if the offense gets it together. Now, averaging 14 points a game is legitimately mind-boggling. And
Yeah.
the fact that they're 2-1 is
It's
a
also
huge
mind-boggling.
blessing.
so close to 3-0.
They're closer to 3-0 than they are to 0-3
Oh yeah. Oh, by a mile.
by a mile. So
Not by a mile, but
By a half mile. by a half mile.
come on, they're 4 points away from that.
yeah, but they're also 1 inch away from being 3-0.
Exactly.
So maybe not by a mile,
Half
but
a
by a
mile.
couple feet.
Yeah, exactly. By a couple of feet. There we go. I like
Half
how
a
we just
mile.
went from a mile to half a mile to a couple of feet, but we're there.
Stephen Sholey says, otherworldly defense. Zach, you aren't toxic. We love you.
Love
RK
you,
Rocking,
Steven.
Sharp or Brandon Lloyd. Love y'all. True Champ 24. This is Sharp.
It's for sure Brandon
Big day
Lloyd.
for a Sharp jersey.
Yeah.
3 different people at the tailgate made the "you're looking sharp" joke.
Hey, I love it.
And I made it before anyone else on the
Those
tailgate.
are our people.
RC0101 says Broncos dub. Let's ride.
Let's ride.
That's right.
Drake says, let's frickin' ride.
Let's frickin'
ride, baby. And Jacob says, one last thing. We made it through a Sunday night football game without the carousel graphic. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go.
Yes.
Sunday Night Football is ESPN?
No, Sunday night football is.
Oh, okay.
NBC.
That's NBC. ESPN is the carousel graphic.
True.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't. Did they show it during the Monday night game?
I'm not sure, but they have another opportunity in 3 weeks from tomorrow against the Chargers.
The Chargers, the 1-2 lowly ass Chargers.
Yep, exactly. Those Jacksonville,
Blown out by the Jaguars Chargers.
those Jacksonville Jaguars looking pretty good, huh?
They're
Ryan?
so good.
How about
Looking
those
pretty
Colts?
good, baby.
How about those Colts?
You mean the Charger, the Jags that are leading their division?
Ooh,
over
those
there?
Jags?
How about those
those
1-1-1 Colts?
Yeah. Oh
Wow,
man, nothing
your
says
Colts.
sexy like 1-1-1. But hey, shout out to them for getting the dub over the Chiefs.
And my guy Jelani Woods, perfect RAS score.
Wow.
there you go.
Wow.
Bet on RAS, 2 touchdowns in that game.
See,
I love it.
I was like, I was sure you're gonna say my guy Jelani Woods, 2 touchdowns in that game. My guy Jelani Woods, perfect RAS score.
Bet on RAS, you'll never lose.
All right, another super chat coming in from our friend Jess C. Says only 36 points in 3 games. Feels like 2011. Talk
Hackett-
about the defense.
Hackett was not himself tonight. Hackett was not himself tonight. Wait, 36, 16, 16. No, that would be defense, wouldn't it?
It's
Yeah.
defense.
It's definitely.
Yeah.
Well, the offense though, Hackett was not himself. That was the least creative play calling we've seen, which
There-
is it was needed to move in that direction, but it was an overcorrection. There was no sort of misdirection. There was no. I mean, there were a couple bootlegs, I guess, but that was very, very bland, very vanilla.
There was one incredible play call. I believe it was Jerry Jeudy who was wide open because of the play call. I think it was the first quarter or the first half. No, it had to have been first half because they didn't have a first down until the very last play of the first quarter, and it was just perfectly designed. But Hank, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. What happened in that final drive, or the touchdown drive, I should say, was just Russ working his magic.
All right, we're down to our last super chat, which means the clock starts now. Any super chats that come in the next 2 minutes, we'll get to before the end of the show. Otherwise, the show ends.
And
So,
we'll all
Wow.
count down when it gets to 10.
yes, exactly. All
There
right,
we go.
Last one here comes in from Garth Knight, who says, "I wish Josie Jewell could wear Zach's shirt in the post-game interview." Did he
That
go
would be
shirtless?
incredible.
I'm not picking up the reference.
I don't know that it is a reference. I just think it might be hilarious if he was wearing your shirt. It would be awesome.
He would
That's a
not
very
be able
big
to
man.
get the
Probably
buttons.
riff it.
That's why it would be
Yeah.
hilarious.
I think this is extra small slim fit, so I'm not quite sure Josie's fitting in that.
Child
This one might
sizes?
not be a slim fit. I did do the child sizes, but then they were just too baggy.
All right.
Yeah, the XL.
He could definitely fit
love
into this.
that.
This is actually big on me, which is rare. But look at those sleeves.
I like
they're
it.
going all the way down.
Reebok? No.
No. Starter.
Starter. Yeah. Oh, man,
yeah,
that's
you
a
can
real
see that.
throwback. We're searching for Ian B's comment. Ian, why don't you just leave your comment again really quick so we can get to it before the show ends?
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I don't think we're finding
Maybe
it right
he hit
now.
a super chat before the show started.
That's very true.
I screenshotted those.
Okay. All
Shoot,
right,
can we
well.
hit him?
And we hit those, Kale?
No.
One of them's not very nice, but sure.
Oh, geez,
Yeah.
Probably about me. Oh, no.
Here we go. Ian.
Yes.
Who says, I know you guys had to break down the good and bad, and while there was a lot of bad, we won. I'm looking at you, Zach. Don't ruin with your toxic, negative attitude. That's right.
Welcome to listening to the show
Wow.
for 6 days. Bud.
Yeah.
I appreciate the super chat, Ian.
What's crazy is that literally Zach is the least toxic, negative person, at least, like, not the least I've ever met, but in the very bottom of people I've
Thank
met.
you. Thank
His
you.
nickname is Giggles.
Yes. The guy brings positive energy literally everywhere he goes.
Kenny, I love you too. I love you, Ryan. Thank you.
Broker Mavity, who says, defense is amazing. The TD drive is a sign of things to come, I feel. Once offense starts really clicking, the Broncos will be crazy good. Also, Hackett did pretty well tonight. Thoughts? It's hard with the two missed challenges. Those are going to be the two things that people are going to talk about. People are also going to talk about the decision to not kick a 58-yard field goal, which was later justified by Brandon McManus missing a 55-yard field goal.
It's true.
But in the end, okay.
Yeah.
Would you say it was a step in the right direction?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
It was a step in the right
Definitely.
direction. The Broncos didn't have their first penalty, I think, until late in the second. They finished with 5 penalties,
Wow.
which feels so much better than 13
Single
and
digits would have been
12.
great.
I mean, so the Broncos took steps in the right direction. Is it perfect? No. But it was a step in the right direction, and when you get it on a dub, it feels good.
And if I was grading him, the biggest point pushing down the grade is still that play calling. I mean, it looked like what we've seen the last couple of years. Again, like, you know that he's capable of being creative and all that, but finding that balance is hard, and we have not seen a game where he found that balance.
I'm excited to see Russ against a bad defense next week, and Nathaniel Hackett maybe calm down a little bit, go on the road, get in your bag, and go up against a really bad defense. I think you could see a breakout performance from the offense next week. We will have all of this week to talk about it. I don't think any chats came in during the timer.
Oh, but EMB did
Yes.
say something. He said, those were smart challenges. I lived through the John Fox challenge era.
I feel like everyone's challenges suck.
If you're a Broncos coach, that's the truth.
He also wants to give Quan Williams props.
Here we
And
go.
Final one here, because the timer has already expired. From 562 Broncos says, I know it's early, but getting some 2015 vibes here. Dominant defense and timely offensive play without turnovers seems to be a formula for now.
For now. When you say for now, to get you to 2-1. Maybe you hope it's not next week where the defense has to do it. You hope the offense wakes up. This team is showing a lot of promise, but the offense needs to be there. And the good thing is the defense is doing everything they need to allow the offense to have that time to wake up.
I also love this comment. Emotional support Viking. Wow, the Zach hate is almost as toxic as Zach.
He's joking.
He is joking. He is joking.
The people who know
We're not
Zach
sure.
have been coming through in the comments.
Yes, I really appreciate
and
all of
having
you.
your back. And also, like, at least within 3 minutes of any time I meet someone at the tailgate, they're like, "Oh, so stoked to see you.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Love you guys. Where's Zach?"
Yeah.
That's what I get every time.
Yep.
So you got there might be some haters, but there's more love out there.
I love y'all. Thank you, emotional support Viking.
You guys know what I love? Winning.
Ah.
I thought you were
No
gonna say
matter
Mile
how
High
it looks,
Sliders.
I love a dub, and the Broncos got one tonight. This was sick. Appreciate everyone for chiming in. The comment section was lit all night. Hit us with
Thank you
a
for the
thumbs
love.
up. Not if you like the show, just if you're happy the Broncos won.
There we go.
Hit us
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
thumbs
yeah.
up.
We should get many thousands
Yeah,
of those.
exactly. If you're happy, if you're not happy the Broncos won, then well, I guess you're just not a fan. But if you're happy they won, hit us with a thumbs up on your way out. This has been great. Thank you guys so much. And as always, we will be right back here tomorrow with another DNVR Broncos podcast. Let's ride.